Big news on two big names in WWE. Keith Lee, what is his future on Monday Night Raw? Sasha Banks, what is her future on SmackDown? Plus, we have ratings for AEW Rampage, SmackDown, and is a big debut moving up to AEW All Out this weekend? It's a lot to get into on a Monday edition of the Sportskeeda Wrestling Top Story of the Day. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Watch out, watch out, watch out, everybody. What's going on? I am Kev Kell. Let me get this stuff off the screen. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to get into here. Jeremy, JB Huskers is with us. You are with us as well. Go ahead and share the link so you don't stink. A lot to get into today. Get your comments on screen. We are talking Sasha Banks. We are talking Keith Lee. We'll get a little bit of the Adam Cole bay talk in here. But if you haven't done it, sound off in the comments below. Hammer the like button. Get involved. If you stand still, it's on you. If you don't share the link, you stink. And I have to applaud you just right there. We got to put it right there. 20,000 plus subscribers on YouTube alone. Thank you guys so much for the support, getting us to this milestone. Now we look to the next one. But thank you guys for sticking with us and being there. Rick is up there in the WLUW studios. What's going on? What up,
Rick?
Please? Our very own Rick Uccino. Shout out to him and all the hard work from our video editing team. Roni, Raju, Kashagra, Cybershek, Avaroth, all the guys who are editing our videos and making us look too good. Making us look too good.
Too sweet.
Jose, Rico, Dutch Mantel, Vince Russo, Dr. Chris Featherstone. So many people contributing to our team here. And if I miss anyone, I feel so bad. But we're going to get into it. We got a lot of news to get on here. I want you guys to get on screen. I want you guys to get your comments on screen. Fly by, share link. Let's get into it here. We have backstage news coming up here on Sasha Banks and Keith Lee. We'll also talk about those ratings that came in this weekend, which were very, very interesting for both AEW and WWE. And we'll talk about some big news coming up here within today's show about All Elite Wrestling. This is their big week with All Out this weekend. So let's jump right into it here. Backstage news on Sasha Banks. What is the latest on her? Jeremy, JB Huskers. Because we have not seen her. She was supposed to be part of SummerSlam. Got pulled off the show.
Yeah, apparently, according to Dave Meltzer, WWE had known for 8 days prior to SummerSlam that she was not going to be at the show. Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, has stated that Sasha was not on the road for the WWE this past weekend, and unless there is a last-minute change, they are told that she will not be returning this week either. Still, not absolutely nothing as to why she has been pulled. No idea if she was sick with COVID or if there was something else besides this. That has never been disclosed yet. But Mike Johnson, also from PW Insider, stating that as long as everything goes well, Banks should return for the company the weekend of the 10th, which is next weekend after Labor Day weekend, which of course is the date for the Super SmackDown at Madison Square Garden. So right now, that is the plan, is to have her back in tow for next week ahead of that big show on. It's been a while since Madison Square Garden's been televised for wrestling, so it's going to be a big show. John Cena on hand, a lot going on. Going to leading up to that SmackDown, Kev.
That does seem like the right way. If you couldn't have her at SummerSlam, if you can get her back in the fold here and get her back in the fold in a significant way, it does seem like, things are quite different,
Yeah.
The man is on SmackDown, and the man moving the needle. Becky Lynch moving the needle for sure. We'll talk about how she did that this past week. You already have people asking us right here, is it true that she's going to come back for the 10th? You guys are so on top of this. I mean, if she couldn't do SummerSlam and she couldn't be in Vegas and be at SummerSlam for whatever reason, I know people are assuming COVID. We don't know that. That it would be a very, very proper way to reintroduce her yet again. And it's all circumstantial. I think fans are more accepting of this considering the COVID circumstances with, false positives and, some people being asymptomatically exposed, so you can't have them out there. And it's a lot going on. Do you think it'd be a letdown if they didn't get her out at MSG?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're going to have enough on the show as it is. So, I mean, it would be a bummer if they don't get her in the mix with Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. But at the same time, I think they probably do have, especially with it being a super show, being 2 hours, they're going to have plenty to go off of just in case she's not able to return.
And so then does she hop right back in the mix there with Becky Lynch right away?
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume maybe a triple threat because there's history between all three women right now at this point. Now that after what Becky's done at SummerSlam, and of course the big feud between Sasha and Bianca, I think a triple threat is on the horizon at somewhere down the line. I don't know if it would be Extreme Rules, so to speak, which if Sasha does come back for that MSG show, Extreme Rules is still a couple weeks away, so you could still put that in the books and make it a triple threat match possibly. Or kind of slow burn that triple threat to something bigger like Survivor Series.
So Survivor Series, I think, you got that coming up in New York City. So I think that's another thing to think about the show in September, coming up September 10th. That's Madison Square Garden. The next time WWE is in New York City is not too far away from there.
Yeah.
In terms of promoting locally, they're going to be there for Survivor Series. That is official. They've said that. And I wonder if they're going to announce some other big things from Madison Square Garden around that time.
Yeah, I don't know.
At least for New York.
It's been so long since we've had televised events at Madison Square Garden. So it's going to be pretty fun again to see that place hold a big show like what this is going to be here on the 10th.
And it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm down for it. I do think they need Sasha Banks, no matter what people think of her and what internet rumors they want to embrace. It's all those different things here. We'll talk here in a minute about changes possibly for Keith Lee. But first, let's get into these numbers here that came out for SmackDown and Rampage. Friday nights is a new wrestling night.
Yeah.
SmackDown is the most watched show in professional wrestling, and AEW certainly moved the needle the most recent weeks with the big debut of CM Punk in Chicago. Now we are more than a week into the CM Punk era of All Elite Wrestling, and Becky Lynch is back on SmackDown. So does this move the needle, which seems to be the big phrase that everyone wants to talk about here?
Thanks, Roman.
SmackDown definitely moved the needle this week. Absolutely moved the needle this week.
Yeah, SmackDown definitely did move the needle. They did increase by about 150,000 viewers from last week with an average of 2.25 million viewers, up from 2.10 from the week before. That
huge number. That's a massive number.
That all important demographic, the 18 to 49, they drew a 0.59, which is a nice large number in that. And they were SmackDown was the number one in the rankings for the demographics for network TV. And then on the flip side, AEW Rampage did suffer a drop in viewership, but the demo got them number one on cable. So even though they had a drop in viewership without the anticipation of a Punk debut, they still pulled in 722,000 viewers, which is just a slight downtick from their debut in week one. But still a strong 0.34 demo in that late Friday time slot as well. So
the number was expected to go down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And so both shows with very strong showings on Friday.
I think the SmackDown number is a little bit more interesting, and the reason I bring that up is that's the first episode after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I think it's also worth noting with the social media complex, so much news coming out, right? So much news. And I mean that news in general, content in general, that I think that Becky Lynch is an underrated thing. I know some people were so in our world, right? We're so into the idea of what do they do with her? How do you bring her back? Casual wrestling fans just want to see the stars they love.
Yeah.
And I think this number is indicative of that. That's nearly 3 million people. 3 million people.
Plus
this was more than double the audience of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Overall.
Plus the and there was anticipation of Brock maybe being there too. He was never confirmed nor denied.
Anyone mad about that? Anyone mad about that? I was like, you're reaching, guys. They never advertised him. They never said he's going to be there.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to follow up on, but at the same time, you got Becky. So, and they gave half hour to the women too. So, in a great segment to open up the show, and then with the tag match afterwards and things like that, they gave a lot of time to the women of SmackDown. So that was good. So maybe save Brock for next week or whenever he wants. It's
Absolutely. A lot of people bringing up different reasons for all these different ratings drops. Everyone suddenly has an expert hat on about why this didn't happen. Oh, it's because if they just would have moved the chess pieces the way I would have, that type of thing. Let's talk about this big possible character change that's being explored. It's not official, with Big Keith Lee over on Monday Night Raw side of things for WWE.
Yeah. Lately, Keith Lee's been working a bunch of dark matches to kind of refine him and decide what works best from him going forward. Dave Meltzer at the Wrestling Observer is reporting that Lee is being brought to both Raw and SmackDown for dark matches because officials want to change his style and give him a new character and want to practice that out in front of the fans. It's been reported now that Lee's going to play more of a heel character in these dark matches, as reported by it looks like the character change was reported by WrestlingNews.co, and that Vince McMahon is looking to turn Keith Lee into a monster heel, quote unquote monster heel, for the main roster. So we'll be interesting to see once we hear some dark match reports. Obviously, main event probably going to be kicking off here any minute now. From where Raw's at tonight. I forget where they're at off the top of my head, but so there'll probably be some reports, probably keeping a close eye on the demeanor of Keith Lee just to see if anything's changed and in how he acts, and maybe see if that's going to translate to television later on down the line.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's the worst news to hear about this with Keith Lee, because it shows that WWE it shows that WWE is invested in him.
Yeah.
They're invested in the idea of him, that writers are invested in him, that producers are invested in him, that production is invested in him, and they want to do something special with him. And especially if this guy was dealing with COVID and then complications of possible heart failure, and heart disease, and God bless, those aren't things he has to deal with. You reintroduce him, people are going to love to see him again. So you got babyface responses. But now it's like, well, where does he really figure into the show? And where can we tell the best storylines with him? I'm not opposed to the idea of them doing a heel turn with him. I'm really not. Yeah,
there might be more growth, at least short term, for Keith Lee if he does sort of do this.
I would say long term. Because there's a
but also in the short term too. They could push him in the short term.
Yeah, in the short term, it would definitely get him more on television because they like building monsters.
Yeah,
and Keith can play a monster.
They could throw local jobber number 3 at him. Much like you remember how they did with Ryback and Braun Strowman back in the days.
Feed the beast, baby. Feed the beast.
Ryback, they just did 5-6 months of squash matches before they did anything with significance. So, but so it'll be interesting, especially with the main event reports that'll be coming through here with people in attendance at Raw tonight, and then going forward with the SmackDown dark matches as well, just to see if they see anything interesting when it comes to Keith Lee.
More than a few people, Stephen Chambers and Mr. James Espanto saying Keith Lee in the Hurt Business.
I like it.
The Hurt Business of Bobby Lashley, the WWE champion, going to be reformed.
Yeah, they should.
It is something when we interviewed we interviewed Bobby Lashley prior to SummerSlam. Our very own Rick Ucchino asked him about that, and he was kind of mum. He said he couldn't really answer that question straight up. And is that on the horizon? I don't know. Don't say the Sportskeeda guys are pushing that, but wouldn't it be something? And there's more than a few people saying they want to see Keith Lee do so. WWE's hurting Keith Lee by starting and stopping his pushes. Well, here's the thing. Keith Lee had really serious health problems.
Yeah.
He had very, very serious health problems. This isn't them stopping and starting his push, Jim.
They had to pull him back.
This is a very, very serious reason why he wasn't in the ring. And then you reintroduce him, and then you think, all right, well, what can we really do with this guy?
Yeah,
I don't think it's the worst thing in the world.
They haven't really done anything with him since his return. Just a couple of matches, and no stories or anything. So this is a good chance to start fresh with a new character and then start that push once again.
Yeah. And several people just want to see him in the Hurt Business. They just
Fits.
want to see it. Yeah.
Fits.
More than people want to see this here. We do have some other news to address before we get off the air, but I do want to remind you, we do have an exclusive that is up on our channel right now with CM Punk, his new TV show on the Stars channel. You can stream that anywhere in the world. It is available internationally. There's Stars with Z. You can subscribe to Stars just like you do HBO Max, anything else. And Heels on there is very, very good. You got to watch the 3rd episode, and we got an exclusive of Punk at a screening last week that I got to attend. He revealed that his character, Ricky Rabies, Stoke the Infestation, is inspired by a mixture of classic wrestling characters and a true journeyman, the ultimate journeyman of professional wrestling. And I mean that in the best way, Tracy Smothers.
Yeah.
This is an amazing story that he shared, and you have to go watch this. You really have to go watch this story. It's up now on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it was a good episode too. That possum drone was something else.
It is there is a possum drone
spitting blood.
It's spitting blood, and it's pretty ridiculous what you get to see in this thing here.
It's a tremendous show, though, and I think Punk is going to be back for the season finale, if I heard right. So he'll be back for one more.
I believe he may have 2 more episodes this season.
Only 8 episodes this season, is that right?
Yeah. So I know he appeared in. They found a way to get him into more episodes, I guess they said, after that first one. And it's really different to see him without tattoos. Right.
Yeah, I saw like 3 hours of makeup to get those just covered up
to do it, and there was talk of, well, maybe we get sleeves on you somehow.
Right. It might be easier.
Yeah, we figured out how to do this, and it is all over the place. It's really, really cool. He gets to play a very fun, almost comedic character in a good way. But it is, I wouldn't say a completely comedic character. Let's talk All Out. All Out is this weekend. It is going to be in Chicago. I will be in attendance. If you're there, let's have a beer. It is going to be something special. AEW has truly riled up their horse this year. They have a lot of different things in place. Some things that are not going to be there that they were building to, but more people talking about the recent additions. Obviously, CM Punk. We just talked about him. He is now in the fold. That's addressed, by the way, in this video that we have up on our channel. But we've been hearing for a long, long time, even before Punk was heading there, that Bryan Danielson, formerly known as Daniel Bryan, in WWE was AEW bound, and that he has signed a contract. He has not confirmed it, but it's been it's been widely reported. And the other point of interest with him is, when was he going to show up? Mm-hmm. And when was he going to have his big debut, his moment? When do you do those things? You can't do them right on top of each other.
Yeah. It was, I was just going to say, it was interesting to see where they had him planned, which is perfect because it's going to be a big show. It's going to be Arthur Ashe it's not a wrestling facility. So it's going to be kind of a cool atmosphere that you don't see every day. And but I like Plan B better.
And Plan B appears to be that All Elite Wrestling is potentially, and this is reported by several different outlets, including the Observer, broken by Casty Haynes from Bodyslam.net. He put the tease out there on Twitter, and then about an hour later delivered it. And the plan is that Bryan Danielson would debut this weekend at All Out. This would be moved up from being at the Arthur Ashe Tennis Stadium in New York City. Concerns internally within AEW whether or not they can actually play to the full capacity that they want to at that stadium with current COVID regulations, which could be enacted at any time before we get to New York City.
Yeah, which is, that's still 3 weeks away. So lot can happen there.
Lot can happen here. What do you think here? Is it a smarter move to do this?
I think so. It generates a little bit of buzz around the pay-per-view. You already have buzz with Punk. A lot of people thinking Punk and Darby may close the show. I think so. When you have you have your title match as a match you already had on Rampage, you gave it away for free. I think that really is when you're having a rematch there, and this time it's for the AEW Championship between Omega and Christian. I think that definitely opens the door to have Punk and Allen close the show in Chicago. Don't you think?
It'll be interesting. I mean, is it a set thing that CM Punk and Darby Allin have to finish the show? You have a lot on this show. But here's the fact of the matter: Kenny Omega is your AEW World Champion, and he's taking on Christian Cage, right?
The Impact World Champion.
The Impact World Champion. That is special, but it just seems like this Punk stuff is so overwhelming, and that's the direction they got to go.
Well,
right?
And like I said, plus they just fought on Rampage, so on the Rampage debut, they just had fought for free on TV. So I would not be surprised if Punk and Allen close the show. Where do you put Brian? Do you put him? I don't know. Do you align him with Punk? Do you have like this beatdown kind of thing?
No.
Or do you have him?
You keep him separate.
Do you have him? Do you have him jump in on Omega? Do you have him jump in somewhere else? It's
him and Omega.
Yeah,
him and Omega. I think that's the way you go.
It's interesting. It's it's
you want to hear something crazy? I think they could open the show with Omega versus Cage.
Yeah, that would be bad. Or open.
I could see the purists. How dare you do that to a world title match? How dare you do that to 6-star Kenny Omega?
I don't want to sound like a mark or nothing, but I
represent the IWC, and I have to say, Tony Khan, you have betrayed us. You have betrayed us by doing that.
If you ask any professional wrestler, what's the second most important slot on the card, and it's typically they're going to say the opener. So.
Another one to throw in here, our good friend Jay Feliciano. Much thanks to Jay. Jay is a big reason we have to do this CM Punk exclusive.
Yeah, nice.
Jay is a very, very great guy. He's doing some amazing things with the Chicago Blackhawks and the Chicago Fire FC in Chicago. Just an absolutely fantastic guy, great friend of the show. Jay, adore you. Absolutely adore you. And he says, Adam Cole showing up on Wednesdays, Fridays, or Sundays. We're just not talking about Bryan Danielson here enough.
Yeah.
Place your bets. Does he show up this week in wrestling? It'll be interesting to see how that plays out here. It's open. He's a free agent. It's completely possible.
I thought he was going to show up on Smackdown Friday, to be honest with you, and that didn't happen. So now I'm wondering, because obviously there was two big reports that came out today. One from first off from Sean Ross Sapp at Fightful, and then later on from Mike Johnson at PW Insider, where there's an internal memo that was sent today that is confirmed that Adam Cole is no longer with the company. So he is not re-signed. He is a free agent. He can show up anywhere he wants to right now. He could show up. He could re-sign and show up on Raw tonight. He could show up on Dynamite this Wednesday. There's no non-compete. He can come in at any time, in any place right now.
It'll certainly be interesting. Certainly all out, already a stacked show. You got a lot of big talent on there.
Yeah.
I think CM Punk's big return match is still the selling point of this.
Oh yeah, now. 7 years, man.
7 years in Chicago. So I can tell you he's going to get a big reaction.
You got a killer match for the TNT Championship, Miro and Eddie Kingston. That's going to be sleeper
match. Sleeper match on the card.
Yeah. They already set off the fireworks on Rampage for that feud. And they only got one more show before they can go to the so they haven't really had a big build to it, but that's going to be a hell of a match. Lucha Brothers and Bucks in a cage. I mean, come on, that could be your opener too, Kev.
Yeah, I mean it's a stacked show. I mean, if you haven't
Pac and Andrade, they're going to tear the house down.
Another thing is you got to deliver something special. This isn't this isn't a special event. This is pay-per-view.
Yeah. Then the problem is that, like, I wish the women were not on the pre-show. I wish that Casino Battle Royal was on the main show. But looking at the card, it's like, what do you really bump? Maybe you add it to the main show and then put a random match in the kickoff. I think, but at the same time, it's kind of cool to give a big match like that. They've always done it on the pre-show, to my knowledge. If I remember right, they've always done the Casino Battle Royal on the pre-show. So you give it away for free, get the people appetized and ready to go buy All Out. And that's going to be interesting to see. Is Ruby going to be the Joker? That's another thing. So there's a lot of intrigue going into this weekend.
Nishad Joel is saying CM Punk versus Darby Allin. Wow, he would really like that here. Some people want to see Punk and Allin open the show. I wouldn't be opposed to that. That makes sense. If you want to do a big debut later on in the night too, I don't know.
Yeah, you get that pop out of the way early. Why not? That's going to be a huge one.
And how many matches are announced for the card so far? They have like
nine on the main card in the Casino Battle Royal for the pre-show.
Okay, all right. So that's a full show. You have a full evening right there.
Yeah, you got what we have not talked about. We haven't talked about Paul White and QT Marshall, Jericho, MJF, Britt Baker, Chris Statlander, Kojima and Moxley are also. Those are the matches we didn't bring up on the card.
Mm-hmm. We will also have a very exclusive interview coming up this week with QT Marshall heading into this show. With All Elite Wrestling coming to Eurosport in India, we'll be talking to QT Marshall about that and All Out this weekend, where he will face the Big Show in his first big pro wrestling match in just a few years. So that'd be very, very exciting. Catching up some comments here. People are excited to see Miro versus Kingston. They're looking forward to that here. In terms of comments about WWE, Ryan Coots is apparently not following the ratings here, because he's saying that SmackDown has gone to the point where they stop caring about the fans and does whatever they want and forgets the people. Well, then why did over 3 million people watch the show this week? Like,
it wasn't a perfect. It was better than Raw, but it was good. It was pretty good. There was some good excitement on SmackDown compared to Raw this past week.
Definitely, if you guys haven't done it already, go ahead and hit the like button. It's just something simple. It's a little button you can hit. All right. Go ahead and share the link so you don't stink. I know plenty of you watch on Facebook. Go check out the exclusives that we have now over on our YouTube channel. Over 20,000 subscribers strong. We just hit that big milestone. And you can check out that exclusive we have with CM Punk, telling an amazing story about the wrestling legend who inspired his current character on heels. It's an amazing story. It involves nacho cheese and a barnyard in Indiana. It is amazing.
Punk did a great job on that role there. I'm glad that he's going to be back for a couple more, because that was that was a great character, I'll say.
We got people yelling, "Watch out, watch out, watch out." Shout out to Giorgio. Giorgio is absolutely fantastic. He did the editing on our on that and got to film that. I love working with him. I'll work with him until I can crawl out of a bed every day. He's the man I love to work with on that stuff. I do have to do something special.
Ooh.
I have to do something very, very special for a special wrestling fan. Give me 1 second here. Hang
okay.
on.
I'll entertain the masses. Throw some questions out here. Here we go.
No questions needed. I got.
You already? Oh, I thought you were leaving. I
got to talk about biggest wrestling fan we know.
Yeah.
Biggest wrestling fan we know. Big
Brock Lesnar guy.
Big Bo Gray. Big Bo Gray celebrating the big birthday.
Oh.
All right. Big man having the birthday. Some tag team partners in his life reached out to me. Bo is our youngest and loudest wrestling fan. This kid's on Twitter calling out the Big Show. You know that? He's on Twitter on the trampoline calling out the Big Show at house shows coming to his town. He's trying to make the matches.
Hell yeah.
He's going into business for himself.
Why not?
All right. 10 years old, calling out the Big Show. Come on.
That's cojones right there, man.
Bo, you can't be doing that here. I got to type this out here. I got something special for you, but I got to talk about this here. This is too much, Bo. I can't have you calling out the Big Show here. So that's why I'm
calling out guys that are.
I'm going to give you something to keep you active here. All right, Bo. I'm going to reach out to your mom. We're going to send you these in the mail, buddy. Okay.
Yeah.
We got Roman Reigns. We got Big John Cena.
Recreate SummerSlam there.
Recreate SummerSlam for you. All right. And don't get into trouble. All right. We're gonna get a hold of your tag team partner there, Kim, and we're gonna send these out to you. All right, buddy. Thank you so much for watching the show. Hopefully we don't get in trouble if we see any naughty jokes. And hopefully you can enjoy wrestling chatter with everyone here at Sportskeeda. I know you've been watching me since I was over on the Zone. I'm very, very thankful. You're a great kid. I hope you have a great, great birthday. I know times are weird and everything is kind of fun, but I hope when you watch wrestling, you get to, see the other wrestling dorks like this, that we have a really great time. Hope you have a great birthday, buddy. Thank you so much for watching the show. I know I really appreciate it. And once again, reach out to me and we'll get these in the mail to you. That'll be pretty sweet. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate them. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you so much, Bo. Love you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Staying safe wherever you are. Wearing that mask. I know it seems annoying, but we're getting through this, guys. Get the shots in the arm, and we're going to power through this thing here. Also, happy birthday to you, Jeremy. I know you had a big one this past weekend.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Little couple nights of karaoke and day of rest, then drove out to Denver real quick.
Oh boy, Denver, man. We're going to Denver, dude.
Yeah, went out to Red Rocks, quick little drive out Saturday, come home Sunday deal, and watched a little Cypress Hill and atmosphere. It was a hell of a time. So back to work tomorrow, unfortunately. The old
Bo.
The
chat is over for Bo. Everybody's over in the chat for Bo. Bo knows, baby. Bo knows what's up.
Bo knows.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're staying well. And doing the most important thing that you can do here as we wrap up. And it is very important. You can complain about the booking and how could they do it to my face? What do they do to my face? No, my fantasy booking has been unfulfilled. Please do this very important thing. What is that?
Yeah, it is. It's called Enjoy Wrestling. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me talk to you.